Greece, young Athenian girls danced naked for her, wearing only bearskins, and mothers, cover the ears of your children. Did you know that the women of long ago Japan worshipped bear cubs and suckled them at their breasts? Now watch this heavenly messenger ride a bicycle, walk across a tightrope, eat with a knife and fork. Well, you'll find it hard to believe that this wild animal isn't human. As a matter of fact, if you skin the hide of a bear, the carcass looks just like you. Oh, but don't come too close, ladies and gentlemen. Behind this door is a wild beast. She is 8 feet tall. She weighs 1,000 pounds. She can run up to 35 miles per hour. She'll rip the door off your car. And if she doesn't like you, she will knock you to the ground and tear the skin off your scalp with one swipe of her paw. Something's wrong. I can't move. I can't lift my head. I can't lift my arm. My muscles ache. My lymph nodes are swollen. My mind is foggy. I have a fever. I have to get my strength back. I want to have a child. I have to get my strength back. I've been to a lot of doctors. They all do tests. They can't find anything wrong with me. I'm tired. I'm always tired. My whole body aches, like right before a flu. Last week I got on a stationary skier and I skied for 13 minutes. And the next day I couldn't move. I know I don't look sick, so people don't believe that I am. I've been sick for a year. I feel crazy. My fear is that I'll never get over this. Can you help me? Well, what you have is chronic fatigue immune deficiency syndrome, or CFIS. It can be summed up briefly as a down-regulatory failure. Endotoxins of a fungal origin activate the immune apparatus of the intestine, eventually overloading to the point of failure the neuroimmunomodulatory circuits in a region of the brain called the hypothalamus. I'm prescribing nystatin for you, 3 tablets, 3 times a day. Oh, and I wouldn't advise getting pregnant right now. Well, what we gotta do is counteract the poisons that are permeating your endocrine glands. There's a legion of chemicals out there in the environment, PCBs, DDT, dioxin. They may not kill you, but they'll scramble your cellular makeup and misdirect your hormones. Now, What we do is inject hydrogen peroxide directly into your veins to clean your blood. Oh, and I wouldn't advise getting pregnant right now. Your pineal gland is the problem. I'm straightening out your neuropeptide and melatonin production. You just haven't been producing enough neuropeptides. I'm also seeing a pattern of grief in your life, beginning with the death of your father when you were 18. I'm prescribing a remedy for you of homeopathically diluted salt. It's for people who are sensitive, refined, and have ailments of grief. I want you to repeat this to yourself every day. I deserve unlimited joy. Oh, and I wouldn't try to get pregnant yet. I have tried Klonopin, nystatin, raw enzymes from the pancreas of cattle, hydrogen peroxide, diluted salt, elderpril, echinacea, garlic, golden seal, vitamin A, vitamin C, Siberian ginseng, adrenaline shots. My lymph nodes are still swollen. My mind is still foggy. I still spend my days in white sheets, the blinds closed while outside the sun blazes. I'm still looking for a cure. In desperation, my husband and I have enrolled in a 10-week program that uses such unconventional therapies as beating pillows, dancing while sitting in chairs, visualizations. I am ready to try anything. I want my body back. I find myself in a fluorescent lit room with 5 other chronically ill patients and their partners. In the room with me is a woman with a shaved head who has skin cancer. Why didn't anyone tell us the sun is dangerous? She asks. 1 week later, she dies. There is a dwarf with Hodgkin's disease who feels doubly betrayed by her body. There is a housewife with advanced breast cancer who has 2 small daughters that she conceived after years of infertility. There is a military man with a brain tumor who can't understand why he feels no emotion. There is a teacher fighting a relapse of ovarian cancer. And me. We are fighting for our lives. The mind is a powerful thing. By bringing vivid, concrete images into your imagination, you can actually strengthen your immune system. Now, one way to do this is to imagine an animal, a predator, who will go after your illness for you. For example, you might imagine a hungry piranha devouring a helpless fish, your illness. Now, what I'd like you to do is sit back, take a deep breath, to come into your imagination. I'm trying. Nothing comes to mind. When I close my eyes, all I see is a white light from above. I don't see any ferocious animals. Really? Try conducting an interview with your healing system. Talk to it. Find out what it wants to say to you. What is it saying? It just says stop, rest, tend to yourself, not others. You need to change. You need to release me, waiting inside you like a mother bear, tender and protect. Yes! That's it. The bear. See where that leads you. A bear? Why a bear? If I were to choose an animal for myself, maybe a giraffe, but a bear? Now I want you to hold that animal in your imagination. And I'm going to lead you on a guided visualization in which you imagine your animal devouring your illness. Now first, I want you to experience the illness. See it vividly inside your body. What does it look like? I don't want to experience the illness. I experience it all the time. I want to forget about it. I want to wake up and find it gone. All right. All right, my brain is a fiery red knot. The circuits are overloaded. It's full of bees stinging. Mother Bear is enormous, with gigantic teeth, soft paws. Sparks fly from her eyes. She roars through my body, rallying white blood cells to awaken and fight the virus. My brain is a honeycomb, and she's licking it. She devours the bees. Then she licks the inside of my body with her huge pink tongue until it is translucent. Ingest her gallbladder and be cured of arthritis, epilepsy, weakness, baldness, stomach ailments. Wrap her hair around your neck and watch your fever disappear. Why, this animal magically cures herself of every serious illness known to man. Cancer, tuberculosis, diabetes. Wrap yourself in her bare skin and the edge of a cliff. Mother Bear comes out of the forest and enters my body like breath. She pulls up thistles in my intestines. Her claws are amazingly delicate. She is able to separate each root. I am afraid they have no end. As she pulls them out, pus and shit follow. There's a snake. In my stomach is a long black snake, also endless. Suddenly it turns into a rat, then a wolf. Mother Bear knocks it to the ground, biting its throat with her enormous jaws and shaking it to death. And she sits at the edge of the cliff, holding me between her legs, my head against her chest. I am her cub. Wait, this is crazy. I don't believe in fantasies. I'm deluding myself. Nothing is going to save me. Can you help me?
Well, what you have is classic candida. It's a fungal infection of the intestines. That's why you're still aching and tired. It's about what you eat. You need to go on a special diet. Here, take this handout with you to the grocery store. It'll tell you what you can and cannot eat.
I cannot eat foods containing honey, sugar, corn syrup, glucose, NutraSweet, molasses, or maple syrup. No wheat, no cookies, no pastries, no bread, bagels, pita bread, rolls, no pasta. No mayonnaise, no mustard, no soy sauce, miso, or Worcestershire sauce. No beer, wine, vodka, no orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, tomato juice, coffee, tea, even herbal. No cheeses, Swiss cheese, cottage cheese, mozzarella, cream cheese, buttermilk, pork sour cream, no French fries, no cantaloupe, no watermelon, no peanuts, no peanut butter, no berries. I am lying in a cave. I'm clutching something in my hand, like fur. Thick, deep, endless. I feel very small, but I'm not afraid. There's only darkness and this thick fur. And then, at the very moment that the teat enters my mouth, I know that I am being nursed by a bear. I am surrounded by large, soft paws. Thick, rich milk is sliding down my throat, filling me, giving me back my life. I am running through a forest. I am running as fast as I can. She is running beside me. The forest is like a garden. Branches heavy with ripe, luscious plums, berries. We devour them and keep running, our faces dripping with the sweetness of manzanita berries, blueberries, strawberries. Dear Dr. S., since I have had difficulty reaching you by phone after leaving numerous messages, I am writing you. Please advise me what dosage of nystatin I should take if I am trying to get pregnant. I know that you and the other doctors have advised me not to get pregnant, but I cannot wait. I am 38 years old. The only place I run is in my dreams. I go to see a Chinese acupuncturist who specializes in fertility. On his wall, he has an autographed photo of himself and Dianne Feinstein. He is wearing a gold lame tuxedo. He puts me on a cot that is too short and cheerfully punctures me with needles in my ears, belly, and feet. He prescribes bare gallbladder for me in tiny pellets to, as he puts it, open the orifices. It is more precious than gold, he tells me. He also tells me that he is putting together a touring musical extravaganza in which he impersonates Elvis Presley. Yes, I am seeking a fertility miracle from a Chinese acupuncturist who thinks he's Elvis. He is delighted to hear that I am in the entertainment business. When he starts asking me for the names of people that can sing and dance, I stop seeing him. Every month that I face the inevitable blood, I am reminded that I am not pregnant. My lymph nodes are swollen. My joints ache. My head feels like it's going to explode. I will never be well enough to have a child. My womb is breaking. They say the womb is the woman's heart. It is crying. All the fluid flowing out of me down my legs, into the grass, through the cracks in the concrete, into the roots of trees. It's not just about wanting a child, wanting to continue into the future, wanting to suckle a baby. It's not just that. I want to know that this body can give life. Send word, Bear Mother. Send word, Bear Mother. I'm having a hard time. Send word, Bear Mother. I'm having a bad time. I am not a person that believes that animals talk to us. My husband and I are sitting in another fluorescent lit room. It is 3 years since I first got sick. I am still not pregnant, and I am still tired. We are in the office of a bona fide fertility doctor. No herbs, no affirmations, no needles. She tells me she needs to do exploratory surgery. I am wheeled into a room wearing one of those tiny little gowns that doesn't really cover anything. The anesthesiologists are joking something about my hair. What if they find cancer? I removed extensive endometriosis from your body. Endometriosis is a condition in which cells from the uterine lining, which you experience as menstrual blood, implant and grow in other areas of the body. It affected your stomach, even your diaphragm. We don't know the cause. There's been some speculation that man-made chemicals may be involved, specifically the pollutant dioxin. Dioxin is a byproduct of everything from toilet paper to plastic bottles. Dioxin mimics estrogen. It's a kind of con artist that may trigger an overproduction of proteins in the uterus. We know that when rhesus monkeys were exposed to dioxin in the laboratory, they developed endometriosis a decade later. But there's no conclusive studies on humans. Endometriosis can cause chronic fatigue, hormonal imbalance, infertility. I did the very best I could, and your symptoms should be relieved now. But you should know that your chances of getting pregnant are only about 50%. 50%? 50%? I went to 5 doctors, 2 acupuncturists, a homeopath, a witch, an Elvis impersonator for 50%? I lost 3 years of health. I lost friendships. I nearly lost my husband. I almost lost my mind for 50%. We should have started sooner. We shouldn't have waited. Why didn't we start sooner? How did this happen? Why aren't my insides working? Other women get pregnant. Why can't I get pregnant? How did this happen? Pesticides. Pesticides back in Virginia. They sprayed the fields with pesticides. DES? Did my mother take DES? Saran wrap. Somebody said that if you heat it up, it releases toxins, PCBs. Chlorine bleach. Lysol. TCP. It attacks the brain. Insulation in the walls. It's the same chemical used in embalming. Paint. It releases gases for 6 months. Jesus, last year I painted this room and then I slept in it. Varnish on the floor. Dioxin, Kleenexes, toilet paper, tampons. I'll never have a child. Paranoia, it's just paranoia. Just because there's ringing in your ears, just because your joints ache, does not mean you're getting sick again. You're not getting sick again. You're not getting sick again. It's just paranoia. Dry cleaning fluids. Jesus, every time I get my pants cleaned. Carpet. New carpet. Electricity. Electromagnetic fields. Electric blanket. Low-level radiation. Toilets. Dioxin. DDT. DEF. PCB. TCP. I am in a magnificent meadow. It's a sea of blue primroses. The air is sweet, like honeysuckle. Straight ahead, I see a path up a mountain. I follow it. I smell musk. Her. At the top of the mountain is the cliff. She's sitting there waiting for me. I go to her. I sit between her legs. My head against her heart. I am filled with a great longing to know what she knows. She knows the underside of rocks. She knows when the sap is warming in the trees. She can smell the snow before it falls. She knows how to wait. She leans toward me and whispers in my ear, "Look." In the dazzling sun, I see a little girl on the other side of the clearing playing. She turns and looks at me. She is my daughter. An ocean wells up inside me. She runs across the clearing. And into my arms. I turn back to Mother Bear, but she is already lumbering through the clearing. "Come to me," she says. "I'll be waiting for you. And remember to wrap your girls in my skin and dance for me."
powdered milk, instant food, fruit leathers, 5-pound collapsible container for water, plastic coffee cup, first aid kit, flashlight, batteries, sunset, sunscreen, insect repellent, Swiss Army knife. I am packing for Alaska. I'm tired of dreaming about bears, imagining bears, reading about bears. I need to see the real thing. I have never camped out in my life. It takes me days just to assemble everything. Potable aqua water tablets, padded seat for bear watching, Halloween underwear, net bags, sock liners, hiking socks, hiking boots, rain jacket and pants, rain boots, extra underwear, extra socks, maps, compass, guidebooks. I am in Denali Park. Denali is a 6 million acre preserve. It's not really a park. It's a wilderness. There's no paths in it, and you can camp anywhere you like as long as you take a bear-proof container with you. As the sun is going down, I am wandering back and forth with a 50-pound pack on my back. Feels like 200. Finally, I find a spot to pitch my tent. It's about 10:30 p.m. Fortunately, in Alaska, it doesn't get dark until about midnight. It takes me forever to figure out the most obvious thing, putting all 3 rods together on the tent before securing the final one on top. The next big challenge, the camping stove. It is a borrowed item as well. Of course, I own no camping equipment. It has tricky timing, confusing directions, and temperamental cooperation at best. After numerous tries, the ground littered with dead matches, I finally nurture a flame that boils some water for me and provides me with a delicious dinner of instant turkey tetrazzini. A fox, my brush with wildlife. I pack my food into my bear-proof container. I change my clothes so that I'm not wearing the same clothes that I cooked in, and I zip myself into my tent. I retreat to my stash of bear books, reading about the bear customs of the Koyukon people of the lower Yukon, who still hunt bears for livelihood. I wake up frequently, certain that I hear the fox scurrying about. It's my time of the month, of course, and I'm bleeding profusely. And so in my groggy state between sleep and wakefulness, I confuse the fox with the bear and dream that a bear is drawn to my tent by the smell of blood and is tearing my tent to get inside. I wake up
I peel off a layer of clothing.
I am hunting the bear. I go into the den. It is hot and dank. Branches scrape my face. I see two eyes. I pull the trigger.
Oh God, my worsted layers, sweating cramps, killing me.
I am looking down at the bear. She is a mountain of dark fur on white snow. And even though she's dead, her mouth is moving. Don't be afraid, she says. Pick up the knife. Do what has always been done. I remove the eyes first. I skin her, following the incision from the throat down. I sever her head, careful to keep it attached to the skin. When I open her up, inside is a woman. The next morning, I hike to the ranger station, and I want to find out everything I can about grizzly bears. I want facts. I talk to the park's chief biologist, Mike McKay. But there used to be 100,000 grizzly bears in the lower 48. Now there's 800 or less. We've been living with them for thousands and thousands of years. We did away with them in less than 100. You're from San Francisco, right? Yeah, it used to be 10,000 grizzly bear in California. Well, it was prime grizzly country. Herds of antelope, packs of wolves, salmon running in every stream, bald eagles, condors. Now there's not a single grizzly bear left. Last one killed in California in 1922. Hell, it was a great sport. They'd tie a rope around the throat of the bear. Then they'd tie another rope around its hind leg. They'd tie one horse to one end and another horse to the other end, and they'd pull until the poor beast... Oh, they're wild beasts, a nuisance. So we go after them with guns, traps, poisons. There's a lot of money to be made off them. Poachers fetch a big price for bear parts. Gallbladder, skin, claws. This keeps up, I won't have to worry about bears in a few years. There won't be any left. And that could have serious repercussions. You see, we're finding out now that the bear is actually a vehicle of life to the forest. See, the salmon are full of nitrogen and phosphorus molecules. Bears eat the salmon and then they deposit their scat, their dung, all over the forest. And this scat, chock full of rich nutrients, actually feeds the trees. Of course, that all depends on there being enough bears. No, we just don't have room for them. Do you know how many bears it takes to maintain a viable population? That is a population that will continue into the future. At least 500. You know the number of national parks able to maintain that minimum population? 0. One bear, one grizzly bear needs at least 300 square miles to roam in. No loggings, no roads, no summer cabins. Oh, we just don't have that kind of room. Now, here in Denali, we've created kind of a little Paradise. Even so, there's hardly any new cubs coming up. We don't know why. My colleagues in Svalbard, way up there in the Arctic Circle, is studying polar bears. Same problem. Unexpected low reproduction. You know what he found? Their fat is chock full of PCBs, DDT, dioxin, stuff that disrupts their reproduction. Hell, we're talking about the pristine Arctic wilderness here. I mean, they're hundreds of miles from factories, towns, dump sites. Hell, we don't even know when we're screwing things up. Sometimes I couldn't figure out why all the ground squirrels here in the park were dying until we opened them up and found cigarette butts in their bellies. Ground squirrels are a major source of protein for bears. I envy you. You're here to enjoy them, not study them. Be careful. Sing when you're out there walking so they know you're coming. Count yourself lucky if you actually see a bear. They might not be here for your grandchildren. Well, the next day, I am riding in the bus down the only road that goes through Denali. Hey, there's caribou, 2 o'clock. Is that a moose? Hey, that moose, 9 o'clock. There's a bear. Stop, let me out. I see a bear, a blonde grizzly. It's a mother and 2 cubs. They're rooting in the dirt for ground squirrels. I watched them for about half an hour, and then they disappear in the willows. I don't know if I should track them or just wait there. And then suddenly there's a flash of gold, and she appears out of the bushes right in front of me, saunters across the road with her 2 cubs, disappears into the thicket, and up Cathedral Mountain. If you go into the woods today, better go in disguise. If you go. I am in the middle of wilderness. There's not a sound. Not birds, not even wind. And the Arctic air is so sweet. It's intoxicating. Everywhere there are tiny, delicate, blue, white, yellow wildflowers. Jacob's ladder, harebells, primroses. The last part of the mountain is so steep that I have to climb for 50 yards on bare rock. When I look down the other side, I see her. She's eating berries off of bushes. Suddenly she flops on her back. And the cubs nurse her. They bounce around on top of her. She shoos them away from her face. And then they stand on their hind legs and
bat at each other, rolling on the ground like puppies. She stands up and turns toward me. Golden fur shivers down her massive body. I can see her so clearly that I can almost smell her, feel her hot breath. She swings her head in my direction to smell the wind and pauses long enough for me to imagine that she's been waiting for me and speaks to me. I care nothing for you. I don't care where you come from, why you're here, what you want to say to me. I only know what you smell like, and I know who you are. I know what you had for breakfast this morning. I know what river you camped by last night. I know when you are ovulating. So tell me when I'm ovulating, because if I know when I'm ovulating, you do not know. When the ground is frozen, and I have made my home of moss and leaves beneath the tree, I do not know if I will have a cub. Only the darkness knows that. I sleep not knowing. I've been not knowing too long. I want a child. Yes. Yes, for years. Only in the middle of the winter, when I am awoken by a gush, do I know life is here. A gush. The licking. The warm milk leaking. Warm milk. I want to. You want. You have no right to want. You have trampled my garden. You have poisoned my berries. Wait a minute, I didn't. You pave over the path that I and my ancestors have walked on for 15,000 years. Your gun is aimed at me over and over. The skins pile high. Look, I don't even own a gun. The harpoons, the traps. Look, I had nothing to do with that. The terrible smell of you. The hiding in the willows when you walk by. Your voice, your tracks. I'm sorry. The hunger for your food, the lust for your garbage, for your Pampers, your cans of chili, your raw hamburger. Look, I know all of that's true, but I didn't have anything to do with it. Leave me! exhausted. I haven't slept in 3 nights. My shoes are wet, my socks are wet, everything's wet. It takes me half an hour just to heat up a cup of coffee. I just want to sleep in my own bed, under my own goose-down comforter, some Tylenol PM, please, and a roof over my head. You steal my trees to build your roof. The house you live in now crushed my den. Look, that happened 100 years ago. I am not responsible. You come for my claws, for my teeth, for my gallbladder. Look, he prescribed it. I didn't know. Oh, leave this place. Look, I don't even like the wilderness. I am tired of worrying about foxes sneaking into my tent at night. I'm tired of worrying every second that I'll surprise you and you'll attack me. Do you know where I come from in California? I can walk the hills anytime, anywhere I want to, and I never have to worry about running into wild animals like you that will maul me. Jesus, why do you think I'm here? I miss wild things. I need you. I'm bleeding. What? I'm bleeding. Carry me. Carry you? You've carried me for 3 years. You can't stop now. I'm dying. You suckled me. You were my cub. Now you must take care of me. I don't know how. You are a mother. I want to be a mother. You are a mother! Will you still take care of me? I have cared for you for thousands of years. I have carried you for thousands of years. Now you must carry me. Remember, cover the floor, fresh fir twigs. Carry my body in the direction of the sun's movement. Wrap your newborn in my skin. What happens when the last grizzly bear dies? What happens when those salmon no longer get caught? What happens to the forest when there's no more bear dung to seed it, feed it? What happens to a sleep that is no longer slept by a bear. I am back from Alaska. It has been 4 years since I first got sick. 4 years of doctors, remedies, cures, potions, needles, and finally, surgery. I am no longer tired. I am home again. I am standing next to the bathroom sink, holding a little plastic white stick in my hand with a blue saturated window. I am pregnant. And rechecking my bags to make sure I have everything. Tiny undershirts for dolls. This couldn't possibly be related to this thing inside me, twisting my gut. The weight in the waiting room, sorry. We don't have any rooms free. You're 7 centimeters dilated. Good, you can stay. Your uterus has stopped contracting. It's tired. We'll have to give you Pitocin. I'm pushing out a watermelon. I can't do this. The doctor wants to vacuum it out. His purple gloves, cold and quick. Didn't even say, hello, my name is. How long has she been pushing? 3 hours is too long. And I can hear the voices of my midwife and my husband. The baby's crowning, no vacuum. And I can hear my own voice, like I am outside my body or underwater. I want to do this. And the bathroom walls shake every time I throw up everything that is inside of me. I can't do this. I can't do this. Not because of the pain, which is like somebody hitting you really hard in the stomach over and over. Not because of the pain, but because I'm spent. Simply spent. Like when I was sick and couldn't move. Nothing there. No life. Life gone. And suddenly, the chasm opens up, and it is filled with women who die in childbirth, strangled babies, dead bears, poisonous air, rotting milk, the great fire. Only when she, the mother, becomes fierce, bear down. Only when I cry out not in pain, but in rage, bear down. Bear down. Bear down. Only then can Lydia's head come out. And only then, in some breathless, heated moment, can I feel a tiny bloodied head and tiny shoulders. And only then can I pull Lydia out. Only then can she be born. Squirming, slippery, bloody, almost blind. Like a cub out of the mossy dark.